Oh, hey, you're here for a lesson. Oh, all right, okay then. So, demand theory. Demand. So, demand theory is downward sloping. Well, it can be, or it can be upward sloping. It just depends on the relationship between our variables, quantity and price. I need a marker. Maybe this one. So, when we have our price and our quantity, when we have those two variables, we can have a downward sloping curve. And it could be downward sloping because as we lower the price, more quantity will be demanded. And as the price is higher, lower quantity will be demanded. Think about the money you have. You can buy more if the prices are cheaper. You can buy less if the prices are going up. They're more expensive. But sometimes people buy things as the prices are going up. You might think they're crazy, but no. Those products are called Veblen products. And they don't follow a downward sloping curve. They follow an upward sloping curve. Whoa. So that means that they have a positive relationship between price and quantity. As one goes up, then the other one goes up. A bit strange, huh? Right. So the higher the price, the more they buy. So you could think of those as maybe investments. You buy shares. As the price goes up, you buy more shares because you hope that it will carry on going up. Or maybe the price of art goes up, so more people start buying art from that painter because they expect that as the price goes up, they're going to be able to sell it at an even higher price. It's almost turning into like a supply curve. You're buying something to sell it later on at a higher price. So you could say that the demand curve suddenly starts turning into a supply curve. Anyhow, if it's a positive relationship, then it's a Veblen product and people are buying it because the price is increasing. But in most cases, and for AQA, for your economics coursework, you have to assume that the demand is downward sloping. So not like this. I know I spent a long time, right? And then it's the other way. Okay. So it's going that way. And that is a negative relationship. So as the price goes up, the quantity demanded goes down. We can have a paint a finer point there. There we go. High price, go P1, Q1. Don't forget to label your diagrams properly, but labeling takes away marks. P2, Q2. So we can see as the price goes down, the quantity demanded increases. So that's one reason why we have that downwards sloping demand curve. Another reason why it's downward sloping is referred to the law of diminishing marginal utility. So utility is the benefit we gain from consumption. Now bear in mind that consumption diminishes, or so the law tells us. So if you're drinking nice cup of tea, eventually you're gonna get tired of drinking that tea. So the higher the quantity, the less value you put on it. So we have the downward sloping demand curve. Now demand is considered to be effective demand, not just want. What do I want? I want to be on holiday, somewhere warm, I don't know, Barbados. But I'm not there because it's not an effective demand. Maybe I don't have the money, so I can't really go there or purchase the ticket and so forth. So demand has to be an effective demand. So there has to be some money backing the need, the want. So when we look at demand curves, we assume there's an effective demand, that someone has the money and can actually purchase the item. So let's get that out of the way. That's demand. Next, we need to understand the difference between sort of a movement along the demand curve and a movement of the actual demand curve. So a movement along the demand curve is considered also called an adjustment. So if they put the prices down, we buy more of it. So that is a movement from point A to point B. So that is an adjustment. And that sort of movements up and down along it are caused due to changes in price. That is creating a change in quantity. When we have a change to demand that is caused by anything else other than the price of the product in question, then we get a shift in demand. And the demand could shift inwards or outwards. So if demand increases, it shifts out. If demand decreases, then it shifts inwards. Something like this. So that's our original demand curve. It's our price or quantity. And we have at this price, we buy this quantity, price 1, Q1. But guess what? They had a really good marketing campaign. So suddenly the demand curve shifts outwards. And there's more demand for the product. Remember when they had those names in the Coca-Cola bottles? There was no change in price, but the demand increased. So here we have the same price, but yet we have more demand for the product. So we have sort of an increase there in demand. And we have an outwards shift. It's no longer an adjustment along the demand curve, but it's an outwards shift of the curve. And again, anything else other than the price of the product that creates a change in demand will make it shift. So the key things that will make it shift, marketing, maybe the price of another product. So the competitor of Coca-Cola is, Pepsi. So if Pepsi lowers their prices, then people are going to stop buying Coca-Cola as much and they're going to buy Pepsi instead. This is the assumption. So we could think of the demand curve moving inwards, sort of decreasing. So instead of shifting outwards, we can assume in that scenario that it is moving inwards. So an inwards shift. So we take away these Q2, take away that, get it out of the way. And we have a shift inwards there. So that's our new demand too. And we can see that the quantity, the price hasn't changed. No, the price of Coca-Cola hasn't changed. But yet, because Pepsi has decreased their prices, people are buying more Pepsi than Coca-Cola. So we have a decrease in the quantity demanded for Coca-Cola there. So that's a shift in our demand curve from D1 to D2. Other things that create shifts in the demand curve, maybe the level of income. If it rises, if it increases, then people might stop buying certain products. So the demand for those products could change. It could be the substitutes. You know, if you were buying a particular brand, but that brand in comparison becomes a little bit too expensive. Like we looked at Coca-Cola. If Pepsi decreases the prices, they'll stop buying Coca-Cola and they'll buy more Pepsi. So we have a decrease in demand for Coca-Cola. Things like what do we have? Substitutes and who knows the answer? Compliments. Oh, thanks for telling me. So compliments. There's no one there really. I wish there was. So compliments. So if the price of a compliment changes, it could also affect the demand. So for example, the demand for cars might be driven by the price of fuel or the price of road tax. If the price of road tax increases, then we can see the demand for cars decreasing as a result. Without having to change the price of a car, the demand for cars will decrease because road tax has increased and the price of fuel has increased. So people are not, there's no incentive for them to buy a car. So again, main differences between both. An adjustment is to do with the price of the product going up or down. A shift is to do with anything else other than the price of the product in question. And that is the main idea of demand. Am I forgetting anything? No. Good luck. Thanks.